Welcome everyone to the Ditch the Struggle podcast. I'm your host, Alana Russo. I'm a graphic designer and career and success coach who knew I could do better, but kept falling short of where I wanted to go. And now, after years of exploring personal and career development, business, money mindset, and energy work, I'm here to tell you that yes, you can move from stuck and defeated to empowered and confident. Ready to dive in? Awesome. Together, let's ditch the struggle. Hi everyone, it's Alana, and on Ditch the Struggle today, I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into my new coaching program. And this is really because I find it's easier to explain things if I talk about it. And so for those of you who are interested in potentially working with me or knowing more about what I do or what coaching is, then this is the episode for you. Because I did make a few changes in my coaching. I had a 6-week program that was kind of my signature program, and I decided to change that up this year because I found that 6 weeks really wasn't enough for the transformation that I want people to experience. And I would say right off the bat, the biggest thing people get from working with me, or like the payoff, is usually a sense of freedom that you can do your career the way you want it to be and the way you want to do it. And if you get anything from listening to my episodes, I think you'll see that thread that you can build your career the way you want to. There are no rules. And if there are rules in place that you are following, that is because someone has told you to follow those rules and they are not necessarily serving you. And I want to help you figure out if it's working for you. And if you want to work with a coach or work with someone to help you, usually it's because something's not working. And I want to help give you permission to let something go, which can be your job, the career path, whatever that is that's not working. And then, but also find what potentially could be something different, a different path, something that works for you, building your career on your own terms. And that is part of the reason why I got into coaching, is that I love helping people move forward and like propel them forward. I actually just very strongly feel like, okay, I can help you move forward. And if you don't know what you want to do, that's fine. We can figure it out. But I wish I had had someone help me with my career because I made so many, I'm not going to call them mistakes, but I did so many random weird things that didn't serve me. And I know that since I've been working with a coach, which I kind of started doing around 2016, like more formally, it's been life changing. And I worked last year, I worked with 2 different coaches. I did more group coaching, like I participated in more group coaching, but one-on-one is as well. I've done that. And there are just times when you need that outside perspective and your friends and family mean well, but they are not necessarily going to give you the help that you need. And they're probably just sitting there waiting to give you advice based on what they would do and through their filter, and they're not objective about it. And a really good coach knows how to be, non-judgmental, but also not impose their beliefs or what they would do. A great coach is helping you to discover what you want to do and then come up with a plan to execute that. And really anything is possible with your career, but we are not told that. That is not the message in society. That is not the message on LinkedIn. Or if it is on LinkedIn, it's annoying. And it's like, be anything you want to be, do what you want. And it's not true. It's just like they're saying that and then they're like, just go apply for this job, right? So it's like, and some people figure out that they do not, it's as simple as changing jobs. Some people is more about changing careers, like actually the path. Some people, you're going back to school. I know for me, I had to go back and do training. So I went to coaching school. I did one program in 2016, and then I went and did a much more intensive program in 2020. I had a long career as a graphic designer, but I wasn't too happy with a lot of things going on in my design career. I was getting bored and I was getting burnt out. I think that was actually, looking back, really what was happening, that I was burnt out. And I have always loved helping people. So I'm glad I did the whole coaching. I have done that whole coaching training, and I can be here and help people and help you figure out what potentially that new path can look like. And in 3 months, like in 12 weeks, whatever coaching program you do, you can have a different life. Like things can change that quickly. And you have to show up and do the work. But they can change if you actually commit to a process. So nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And if you keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same results. And I promise you that no matter how many hours you spend looking on LinkedIn, you won't necessarily find that like perfect path. It's not going to just pop up in your feed. I mean, you can sometimes see a job that inspires you, but there's more to it. If you're deeply unhappy in what's going on in your career and your job, then there's exploration to do. And a deep dive will be really helpful to help you move forward. So let me just rough out how I do the 12-week process. It's totally customized for each person. But there's a few kind of benchmarks that I do love to hit in the process. And one of the things I have noticed, and I'm going to say this right off the bat, is usually by like week 3 or 4, people start to freak out a little bit and they pull back. That can happen. And I'm going to just lay this out there because that's when transformation starts to happen. Those first couple, 2-3 weeks, it's like fun. It's like, oh, I'm so excited for the change. But then when you actually have to do the work and the reflection exercises and, any workbooks I give you or really think things through, that's when the rubber hits the road, meets the road. What's the saying? Something like that. Okay, so just gonna put that up there because I see it all the time and I personally have gone through it. I know when I get my backup and I don't want to go to a coaching session or show up on Zoom, that's my resistance coming up. That's probably the session that I need to go to most. And case in point, I was signed up for a master class 3 nights ago, and it was like 6:00 in the evening. I so did not want to go. I wasn't in the mood. Like, I couldn't have been less in the mood. But the completist in me, the person that always has to show up and the person who's always committed to things, shows up. And I also know that often when I don't feel like doing something, that's exactly when I need to do it. Well, I needed to hear something on that call because I was kind of in a slump that week and, to be honest, sitting in a bit of victim mode. And once I listened to that call, I got re-energized, and I think I went and worked in my office like 3 or 4 hours that night and got something done that I had been like putting off forever. So this is what group accountability or showing up to something can do. It's incredible. You can't do everything alone, and I've realized that. So, okay, so let's dive into what kind of happened. So the first week, we're going to do like a career deep dive. So what are the ups and downs? What's gone on? Give me some backstory. Where are we going? Where do we think we want to go? And if you have no idea where you want to go, that's great. We're going to get some clarity. So it doesn't matter if you have no idea what you want to do. Career coaching can absolutely help you, and that's a huge part of what I do. And then week 2, so between week 1 and week 2, I actually assign this attitudinal assessment called the Energy Leadership Index Assessment, and it's a total mouthful. It's short. The short form is ELI. So I'm certified in providing this assessment. You have to go to a certified practitioner. And I love the ELI. I have done it for most of my clients, and it helps you understand kind of the filter that you're seeing the world through. Like, what's that lens you're seeing it through? And it breaks it down into 7 levels of energy, everything from apathy and anger to total joy. And there's like a whole gamut in between it. And we naturally will vacillate between different levels of energy when we're under stress and when we're having a good day as well. So we break it down. And it takes about 20 minutes. I give you all these questions to answer. And then I analyze the results. And so our second session, it actually sometimes is a little bit more than an hour. It can take up to 90 minutes, is kind of a debrief of this assessment. And it will show you how you see the world naturally and where you might be having challenges or why you may be making choices that you're making and how you're showing up. And it's so enlightening, and it's different than a personality assessment, which just looks at your personality, which is not set in stone by any means, but it doesn't change a lot. But your attitude towards things and how you show up does actually change a lot. And so this is kind of a snapshot of where you are in your life right now. And this gives me tons of information for moving forward in our sessions about like where you might have those hiccups, like where you might get stuck, where that self-sabotage piece might come up, how you're seeing the world, like what is that lens that you're seeing the world through, how are you seeing yourself? I love it. It gives me tons of information. And usually just after that session, people have a very different perspective on their whole life, their career, everything. So just that alone. Some coaches just do these assessments, like that's all they do in their coaching practice. And I know Forbes has written an article about it, and it's says it's one of the 11 assessments every executive should take. So it's awesome. And then in week 3, we'll get into career exploration. So I kind of consider this part 1 of that career exploration part. So career options, overall career fulfillment, like passions. I want to really know about any of those hopes and dreams that may have died in order to make a living and collect a paycheck. Many of us have that, where we felt we had to like just compromise and just make choices that didn't serve us. And all of that is okay. It is totally okay to take a job just because you need a paycheck. We live in a world where that matters. So again, there's never any judgment about the decisions we make. We just have to learn from those experiences. And then week 4, we'll keep going into the exploration of the career, deeper dive, and potentially if there are any goals that you're starting to figure out or that we've decided that you may want to set, we may be planting the seeds for those goals. So hopefully there's more clarity at this point too. And then week 5, we'll go further into the career goals. And why I love to talk about goals is because we can't talk goals unless we also make sure we're talking about OPGs. And what are OPGs? OPGs are other people's goals. So we need to know, are you setting goals that you actually want, or are these other people's goals? And I cannot tell you how many times I'm talking to someone and they're setting goals. And if we dive deep enough, we'll realize that, or the person will realize it's not what they want. That's not their goal. That's their parents' goal. That's their friend's goal. That's what their professor told them to do, whatever it is. So I'm going to be looking out to see what we need to do to make sure that your goals are in alignment with actually what you want. And again, I will help give you the permission to follow the goals you want and come up with action steps to get you there. So it's not just like, I want to be a firefighter and that's it. And that's what the goal is. Okay, well, let's break it down, right? Okay, so then we're going to move week 7. We're going to do more of a dive into navigating fears, what's coming up for you, because they will be coming up as you're making change. Change is always going to bring up fear. So just accept that. It's just going to happen. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with fears. They're going to pop up a lot. It's like kind of whack-a-mole. Like you're going to pop one up and you're going to knock it down. Another one will keep popping up and just like pop, pop, pop. But let's dive into them, strategize. Imposter syndrome comes up a lot for so many people. And what's wild about imposter syndrome is that it comes up for a lot of women, and we hear there's like so many people talking about imposter syndrome with women. I cannot tell you how much it comes up with my male clients. So, but there's not much out there for them to grasp onto. Most of the books written out there are for women. Like Valerie Gray is, I believe, the one who coined the term imposter syndrome, and she has written books on that. But so many men I know and I talk to in sessions, they feel like imposters. Comes up for everybody. So it's a major fear of failure, people pleasing. All of those are in that fear world that we'll talk about. Then we want to do deep dive into mindset makeover. So by week 6, we're really looking at your mindset, checking in, gaining more clarity around your careers and goals. And then the beliefs around those potential goals and what you want to move into. So some, like you could have limiting beliefs such as I'll never succeed because I'm average, or hard work doesn't pay off. That was personally one of my beliefs that I've had to work through. And interestingly, I've just been working with a client who has that exact belief, which it's out there. A lot of people have that, especially if you grew up with parents that worked really hard or didn't make a lot of money and just had to struggle. And that is one that you have to get rid of, especially if you're trying to ditch the struggle, which is what we're trying to do here, right? So we're going to look at the mindset in like kind of deeper dive into that week 6 mark. And then we're going to be looking at knowing your value. So how to embrace your true value, talents, unique abilities, like what you're bringing to the table in your career, whatever that looks like. And the spoiler alert is that your career fulfillment will be totally different from everyone else's, right? And that is the permission piece, letting yourself build a career that makes sense to you. This is what I've been trying to do, and I feel more people need to do. Stop trying to fit into the box that someone else has set out for you. Like I'm not going to use the term get out of the box or think outside the box, because there's nothing I hate more than that term. It's just, it's just overused and it's meaningless at this point. But there is we do feel trapped a lot of times in our career and that we need to kind of be in one specific place in our career. And that's not necessarily true. We're also going to be looking at building your personal brand, how to build an authentic personal brand that showcases your talents to either clients, if you're a business owner. So I work with business owners and I also work with 9-to-5ers. And so, how is that brand exemplified for employers, or how are you showing up on LinkedIn and all those things? We'll probably dive by week 10 back into your mindset. So another mindset makeover. Where do you still need to make shifts? And quite frankly, mindset work is forever. It's ever and ever. Every single day I'm working on my mindset. Because your beliefs form your reality. Your beliefs will form your reality. Yes, certain things are external and happen in our lives that we cannot control, but so much is showing up in our lives because that is what we have believed to be true, and also what we have believed to be what we believe we deserve. There's a saying, you attract what you deserve. I think there's a lot of truth in it. Again, I don't feel like I feel like there needs to be an asterisk. It's not 100% true because of certain circumstances in our life. But I do think to a large extent, we do attract what we deserve. That's a hard one to swallow sometimes. We're also dive into career tools. So this is as we get to week 12 or week 11 or so, I do like to get into the nitty gritty. So I don't want to just talk about the career in abstract. There are certain things you need to do, and getting a great LinkedIn profile. And I need to be really clear here. I do not enjoy LinkedIn. I'm good at it, and I have been trained to be good at LinkedIn, but I'm not sitting there on LinkedIn all day just having the time of my life. I can be on LinkedIn, if I'm honest, probably 10 minutes a day before I kind of just get annoyed. But it is an excellent tool. And this is the world we live in where these things matter. So use it as a tool. And we can also look at your resume. If you're a designer or creative, I love to give portfolio review and guidance and breaking that down. I know what employers are looking for. I know how to make your portfolio shine. I know what pieces to really pull forward and just make it shine. Make it really stand out. And I know that's a difficult, no designer likes working on their portfolio. It's pretty torturous, I would say. It's just, I just even updated mine over Christmas, and I can't say I really enjoyed it, but I did it because it's just necessary back-end stuff that you have to do. So we can dive into all that stuff. And then by the end, week 12, you're really looking at career clarity. So bringing it all together, ensuring you're set up for success, concrete action steps, achievable goals, and I want you to feel like you've got this. So this could look at the end, the goal is to have that transformation, and transformation can look like the new job, the new path, the new class that you've signed up for, having a direction, just even having a direction of where you want to go with your career is life-changing. And I can help you think of things that you've never thought before, connect you to people that may help you. Just having that objective perspective, because if there's one thing I think I'm great at as a coach is finding the golden thread. And this is what I mean. The term golden thread came to me actually by a massage therapist I saw. Now, I went for massage, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. The massage was not great. It wasn't a great massage, but she was really interesting. And this experience really was not about having a great massage, turns out. But she shared with me this concept of the golden thread is if you look through things in your life, there's always a golden thread, threading everything together and tying it together and making sense of stuff. Now, if I have an ability to look at what you've done in your career and what your talents are and what you do, and I can see how it all makes sense or how it kind of comes together, and I can help you see that. I can really help you connect the dots. And I don't know why I have this. I do think it's just an ability, and I can see things that other people don't see. And I am really intuitive when I work. So I am just getting a sense of things as we're talking. And that's why I really love doing 12 weeks, because I get to know you much more. I get to really have that sense of what you're all about, what's going to drive you, what's going to fulfill you. It's just a deeper dive. And when you have a deeper dive, you're going to get more of a transformation. It's just as simple as that. Now, not everyone needs, or wants to do 12-week coaching. I still do the 90-minute power-up sessions, and I do love doing these because they're fast and furious. I tell people bring your pen and notepad or whatever you use because I go fast. I want you to get the most out of that time. And some people they just need a little session to give them a springboard into what they're going to do, or to just update their LinkedIn, get their resume going or their portfolio, and just get a better, some small directional changes. They don't always need 12 weeks. So I still do those, and I love doing those. Those are power-up sessions. They're 90 minutes. You can also find those on my website. But yeah, that is basically what the coaching process looks like. And you can read some testimonials just to get a sense also of what I can help you with. And my goal is really simple, just to help you feel empowered that you can change things, that you are not stuck. And the only way to get unstuck in life, doesn't matter if it's your career, your personal life, whatever it is you got to make a change. You usually have to ask for help from someone. I don't care whether it's me or another coach or someone, but that usually helps. And you've got to do things differently. You have to do things differently. So that is my career transformation program. I didn't even give it a fancy name. I gave it a literal name, career transformation. I didn't go into any quirky names or come up with a fun marketing angle. I was like, we're just going to label this what it is. We're going to tell it like it is. And I never want these sessions, by the way, to feel like you're going to another corporate meeting. They're casual. They are fun. You can show up in your pajamas, rock that top knot. The whole thing is just about having the conversation and showing up for yourself. And if you show up for yourself, I know I can help you. Thank you for joining me today on Ditch the Struggle. You showing up here means so, so much to me. To dig deeper into the topics discussed today and to learn about my work, visit alanarosa.com. And don't forget to download your free resources while you're there. And if this episode resonated with you, please share with others who also want to ditch the struggle. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, leave a rating and a review, and let me know what you'd like to see more of on this podcast. And before I go, I want to leave you with my 3 favorite ways to ditch the struggle. Be your own best advocate, take baby steps for the win, and forget about a linear career path. It's overrated and you are doing just fine. See you next time.